Hey, greetings everyone. Gleekon here again with another episode of Lore of Warcraft. On our last episode, we did the second mission in the Orc campaign of Reign of Chaos, which basically just saw us kind of escorting Cairn Bloodhoof and his Tauren through a valley to Mulgore, but one would imagine that that's their life. They've been fighting the Centaur forever, so the game doesn't really portray it as momentous as I think it is portrayed or sort of retconned in Chronicles, where it's described as us really joining forces with the Tauren to help them beat back the Centaur once and for all, to where they'll never pose a serious threat again. And Mulgore, which is mentioned in passing, like it's just naturally their base in Warcraft 3, is established as finally a secure and permanent home, which is something that the Tauren have not had up until that point. So I do like what Chronicles does to really enrich the text that we see in the game. But stay a while and listen as we now read Cry the Warsongs to set us up for the next level in the Orc campaign. And I'm guessing since we've come across a few random Warsong clan members, it's going to involve how we unite with that clan, because really we've just had scraps of orcs so far and we need to get some base building. While Thrall and his horde were aiding the Tauren, Jaina Proudmoore and her expedition trekked towards Stone Talon Peak. She didn't know exactly what she would find there, but she expected to discover some new weapon or knowledge that would help her save the world from the Scourge. At least that was what she assumed the hooded stranger would grant her. And if you remember also, Cairn Bloodhoof has just also directed Thrall in that direction to receive a vision. Finding food and water became a daily struggle. The unforgiving terrain slowly wore down the Alliance refugees. The only thing keeping their hopes alive was Jaina. Though she had her own doubts about the future, she hid them well. No matter how dire the conditions became, she remained determined. After days of travel, the Alliance forces reached a lush woodland known as Ashenvale. The region was filled with resources, pristine rivers and lakes, and wild game. Yet it was not without its dangers. Just as Jaina reached the foothills of the Stone Talon Mountains, Warsong orcs emerged from the forest undergrowth with sharpened blades and murder in their eyes. Leading them was Grommash Hellscream. Grommash and his people had wandered the Barrens for many days before stumbling across Jaina in Ashenvale. Rather than launch an immediate attack, the Warsong chieftain had decided to follow the Alliance at a distance. Finding his old enemy in this exotic land was a mystery, and Grommash spied on them for a time before finally indulging the urge to spill their blood. So does that mean in our next level, instead of Thrall, we're going to control Grommash and get a new hero, and that we're going to fight humans? The Alliance forces repelled the surprise attack with minor losses, but the encounter left them shaken. No one had expected to find orcs in Kalimdor. Jaina was eager to avoid a prolonged battle, and she led the refugees up the slopes of the Stone Talon Mountains. Some of Jaina's followers remained behind and erected defenses to stop the orcs from pursuing them. I can't imagine we're going to have a human base-building mission. Thrall and the rest of the Horde arrived in the foothills shortly thereafter. They were shocked to discover Alliance forces in the area, but they were also elated to reunite with Grommash and his Warsongs. Like Jaina Proudmoore, Thrall was reluctant to bog down his people in a needless war, especially after what they had gone through in the Barrens. Defeating the Alliance was not his purpose here. So I guess that's what we were traveling through. It makes sense, was the Barrens, because it's adjacent to Mulgore. And my guess would be this is where the mission's going to start, where Thrall rides in. We see an already established human base, and we join up with the Warsongs. Thrall ordered the Horde to ignore the Alliance, but his command went unheard by many orcs. Something strange was happening to his people. Ever since they had reached Ashenvale, they had become more aggressive and bloodthirsty, more like the Horde of old. Grommash Hellscream and his Warsongs were the worst offenders. They repeatedly defied Thrall and wet their blades with Alliance blood. Thrall could only tolerate so much. He sent Grommash and his Warsongs deeper into Ashenvale and ordered them to establish an outpost. Thrall believed the hard labor would keep them distracted until he returned from Stone Talon Peak. Begrudgingly, Grommash and his Warsongs obeyed. They considered it a grave insult to be relegated to manual labor. They were great warriors, perhaps the greatest in all the Horde. Nonetheless, they went to work and unleashed their rage on the woodlands. Their axes bit deep into Ashenvale's ancient trees, and they chopped down large swaths of the forest to build their outpost. The defilement of the wilds, this defilement of the wilds did not go unnoticed, nor would it go unpunished. Ashenvale was not Orcish land. It belonged to the Night Elves. So this in video game form is going to be the first time we ever see the Night Elves, even though we've encountered them tons in our books. Also, I think that kind of sets up an ongoing conflict in that region that you still see in World of Warcraft today. And definitely even in Classic. Cool. So we got this episode in the pipe 5x5, and we'll play this in the game version. Yeah, hopefully you enjoyed. Hopefully you learned a little bit. I feel like I did. See everybody next time on Lore of Warcraft.